Hello, 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 everyone. Greetings, greetings. I am Bernice with Loma Creative Services. I'm here today, morning, whichever time or day you'll watch the live or the replay. And I wanted to um, hello, hello, hello. I am Bernice with Loma Creative Services, and I wanted to come on today because I wanted to. Hello, I see the hearts. I wanted to. Um, I wanted to talk about these amazing books. I have attached these books, these Amazon books, to this live. I am excited because I wanted to do something creative today. I didn't want to just come on and just talk about these books. I wanted you guys, the audience of Amazon Live, I wanted you guys, as you're here, as you're shopping, I want you guys to get these books because they are amazing books. So, what I decided to do was something creative and to actually interview the authors of these books that are on Amazon. So, how amazing is that, right? So you'll get a chance to hear from these authors because these are some amazing books. You'll see the resurrection. You'll see amazing, amazing, all these amazing books. Let me, because you'll see them here in the title, but I want to make sure that I describe these books and share with you about them. So, if you're watching this, feel free to share the link, share it with everyone, share it with others as well, and let them know that we are on live and we are here and we're going to talk about these amazing. Amazing books. Again, for those who don't know, I am Bernice Loman. I'm the owner of Loman Creative Services. We are the one stop shop for branding and marketing. I am also an author, so I know how it is and how important it is to speak to an audience about my book and learning the audience and learning just sharing with others what the book is for, who it is for, the benefits of the book, and why I wrote the book. So I'm coming as an author today and having um, the sensitivity of an author. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys know how important it is to share about your book. Um, and so at first, I'm going to have um, Dr. Lagenia Rucker, and you'll see her book here. I have it in the title of her book is here it is. Oh, got it. Is Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose. So if you're wanting to learn your purpose and if you've been through life struggling and trying to figure it out, trying to maneuver through life and learning your purpose, I want to know your purpose, wanting to know how to shift and move in life and discover your purpose. This is one of the books. And we're also going to have Chantel. Her book is called Full of Tears, and you'll see it here. This is also an amazing book that uh, she shares her life experiences in this book. And if you're ever been through a dramatic time or traumatic time in your life, and it seems like you're not going to get out, but there is a way out. And so she's sharing her testimony in this book. And so listen, don't let me give you the justice of introducing this book. I just want to share with you guys. I know these are amazing books, but I want you to hear from the authors as well who has these amazing books. And not only that, I don't want to stop there. I also want to talk to you guys about The Art of Influence, Inviting Success. This is another amazing book, which is a newer book written by Miss Cheryl Williamson. And so I want to make sure that you guys get this book. Get these books. Okay. Sometimes we're shopping for other things, and I want you to make sure while you here to shop for some amazing books as well that are life changing to help you maneuver through life. We are experiencing some dramatic times that we have not even heard of. And so this is a great time where if we're in our space, in our homes, having quiet time, or even on the go. These are some amazing books. The Art of Influence, Inviting Success, is Miss Cheryl, and The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace. If you are a marketplace leader, if you are someone that is in you're in business, you're wanting to maneuver through life, to excel through life as a marketplace leader, this is definitely the book for you as well. This book is by Miss Betty Speaks, and I'm sorry, not Miss Betty Speaks, Deborah Franklin. And this book, listen, we're going to have the author who's going to introduce this book. For those who are on, I see a couple of you guys are on this Amazon Live. If you can chime in, have you read these books, or what type of books are you guys reading? Uh, I wanted to share these books and also share with the authors, so you'll get a close experience with the authors as well. And from Miss Twyla Reed, she has a lot of books, but she's going to talk to us about what do you do when caregivers need um, caregiving. Now, this book, if you've ever experienced always giving, always helping, always supporting, always serving, that's the word, serving. This book will help you, to kind of wind down from life and the busyness of life, the busyness of, of course, you can always serve, but there comes a moment where you too, as a caregiver, need to be poured into. We also need to have that time where we are being poured into, because sometimes you can give out so much. And it helps this book helps caregivers who oftentimes are always the giver and not the receiver. So this is a book, and I'm glad for this book, because I too, I'm always, giving, I'm always serving. And so she's talking about her experience as the caregiver of her son. So you'll get a chance to hear from her too. But I want to share with you guys about the book, and how amazing this book is as well. For all of the books that I just shared, I have them on this Amazon Live, and I want to encourage you to share. I want to encourage you to get these books while you are on Amazon right now. Get these books, and you'll get a chance to hear from the authors, as I stated. So don't feel like you don't you're not you won't know as much about the book, because I have invited the authors to come on and to speak about their book. And also the resurrection, you have it in this Amazon link, is titled The Resurrection Imprint ACT. So the Resurrection Imprint ACT is a leader's book. Now this book is by Miss Betty Speak, she's the author. And the Resurrection Imprint ACT, now this is a leadership book. So if you are wanting to excel through increase in business and in the marketplace, as a leader, this definitely is a book for you. It's a great read that you can use as a leader. Listen, all leaders still need to be equipped, and I want to say this because sometimes, when you read in a book, or decide that you're not sure if you're going to get a book, or is it for me. Sometimes we like look on the back and try to decide, okay, let me read the synopsis to see if it's for me as a leader. Well, all leaders need some type of leadership coaching, leadership lessons that can help you. So this book, The Resurrection Imprint, is like the to go for leadership. So if you're wanting to learn more about leadership, this is definitely the book for you. And I have some of you, thank you for the hearts, thank you for the hearts. Who's on with me? Who's on with me? Say hello, say hello. And let me tell you, so we have the leadership book. If you're wanting to excel in leadership and to grow and increase in knowledge with leadership, the Resurrection Imprint, I have it listed. It is attached to this Amazon Live. Share. Make sure not only are you sharing this, but you order this while you're on Amazon Live. The great thing about this Amazon Live is you don't have to go somewhere else, leave and try to purchase. You can purchase it right here on the live, right here on this live. You hear, you see me, and it's attached. You can order the book right on Amazon Live. You don't have to go anywhere else. You can order it right on Amazon. And this is the great thing about it. Sometimes we are on other social media platforms, and this book on Amazon Lives allows you to order the book right from the Amazon platform. So you have the Resurrection Imprint ACT leadership book. You have What Do You Do When Caregivers Need Caregiving? That is by Ms. Twyla Reed, and the prayer of Jabez in the marketplace. That is Deborah Franklin. She's an amazing lady, another amazing author. All of them are, and that is why I'm super excited to speak with them today, because I just believe that. I believe in having a good read, having something that is not just going to entertain me, but also is going to help me as I am as I am excelling as a leader, as I'm growing as a leader. This will also help me as well. So I want to make sure that you guys knew about this book if you're wanting to learn more about leadership and help you as you're growing your team, learning how to show up into the marketplace and to introduce yourself in the marketplace. This is definitely a good read. And then Miss Cheryl Williamson, The Art of Influence, Inviting Success. Listen, what I love about this book is The Art of Influence. Many of us have influence, and we sometimes as leaders, as authors, whomever, entrepreneurs, coaches, you sometimes can feel like, okay, am I really influenced? Am I really an influencer? Am I really making an impact? Well, this book is a book that helps you inviting success. It helps you invite success into your everyday life, in every area of your life. And that's why I'm excited to talk about this book and to hear from the author, because sometimes, we think that our influence is just more of a larger crowd, when there are every areas in your life where you can be an influencer. You can be an influencer in your home. And so this book, The Art of Influence, helps you and helps identify the success areas of your life that can help you discover when you are making an impact and how to make an impact. So listen, I don't I'm not gonna do much justice just alone. So that's why I invited the authors to speak on behalf of their books. But I read a couple of them, and I can definitely tell you that these are some amazing books. And so I'm not just telling you guys uh, what I've heard. I'm telling you what I know. I have gotten some of these books, and I know that these are some amazing tools that you can use as you're growing as a leader. As you're growing as a leader, these can help you in every area. We have the marketplace, we have in everyday life, we have, I mean, literally everything. It- Think about it, in every area of your life. And also, if you are a caregiver, know that the what do you do when caregivers need caregiving? Now, that alone is like a whoa, like wow. Have you ever thought about it? Like sometimes you're so busy serving, and you're you're always like just giving, just wanting to serve and pour back into helping. But what happens when there's a burnout? And so this book, what do you do when caregivers need caregiving, will also give you strategies as well. If you're looking for ways that can help you as you are a caregiver, this is another book that can help you as well. And that's the author, Twyla Reed. And I'm excited to talk about the prayer of the Jabez too in the marketplace, and to share biblical stories. This book is a guide with biblical stories of Jabez into the marketplace, and so this is also going to be a good conversation about these books as well. And I want to also talk about the digging diamonds, revealing your purpose, because sometimes what happens with us as we are going through in life, we even sometimes our purpose begins to shift. Our purpose sometimes gets it alters, believe it or not. Sometimes we think of it's just one purpose. I got the purpose to do this. Well, sometimes it's seasons. There's a time and season for everything. And so I love the fact that this book is a to go. It's more, I think it's more of a like a manual, like a step by step guide to help you as you're being an influencer. But also, this book helps you reveal your purpose and the timing of it as well. Because sometimes, in order for you to get to a certain thing, you have to know the time that you're in. And so this book helps, it helps you learn the timing of your purpose. And that is one of the reasons why I love to I chose this book as well, is because um I understand. I know that there are people that need this book, that are struggling with their purpose, struggling, trying to figure the way, trying to figure it out, trying to decide, how am I going to, thanks for the hearts, how am I going to, how am I going to get through? How am I going to maneuver through in life, in business? Well, this book is a guide. This book will help you through. And I love it. I love the fact that it says digging diamonds. Diamonds, we know, is a precious, precious jewel that you have to dig to get. So I love the analogy of it about digging diamonds. Like sometimes your purpose, you have to dig deep for it. It is not something that, and that's why I really believe. That's why I really believe some people don't really find it right away. Is because you're not willing to work for it, to really dig, to really discover what it is. And so, and I know she comes also from, with this book, she comes from a spiritual standpoint where you are learning more about God, who the creator is, and the author and the finisher of your faith, and learning from a faith walk. This is why I love this book as well. And learning from a biblical standpoint, and knowing how to first find who you are, who is God, who are you, and then how to move on over into your purpose, and how to grow and increase into your purpose. So that is the book. So this is what we'll be covering, is the digging diamonds, revealing the purpose, and also the art of inviting influence. It's like, it seems like all of these books are is revealing purpose, success, influencing your life, learning how to how to be successful, and the marketplace as a leader. So it has somewhat of a leader, and also those who are always giving back, um as a leader. you're learning also how to receive and how to be poured into. So this is what I believe this whole lot Amazon Live, and I'm talking about these books, is really is it really, this is what it is. And I encourage you guys to get each one of those because they're all seemingly um to all go into one area, and that is to excel, to grow, to expand, to learn, and what you've been doing, how to do it another way. Because um, sometimes we are doing things another way. Sometimes we are doing things another way. So um, we, you know, we definitely need to. Um, we definitely need to know how to do it another way. And this would allow you to learn how to do it another way. All right, so we have the author of Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose. She's on here. All right. Yes. Anybody got any questions about these books? Y'all know Amazon is the best. Amazon is the best. So, if you order something, you'll get it right away. I love it. I love Amazon. So, any of these books, Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose, Full of Tears, The Art of Influence, The Prayer of Jabez, The Marketplace, Caregivers, and Leaderships, The Resurrection Imprint. So what I'm really talking to, or who I'm talking to today, is leaders. Those who want to grow, um, is leaders, those who are giving, those who are making an impact, those who are influencers, those who are growing in the marketplace, those are growing as a leader in your home, in the community, in church, in every area of your life. These books can help you grow and expand. So again, we have the resurrection. If you have not, I want to first encourage you to purchase the books right here on Amazon. And the great thing about being here is that I don't have to share again. Is right here attached to this live. You'll see them right at the very bottom of this live. They are right here at the bottom. There's the resurrection imprint. There is, and when you click, it'll take you directly to their books. What do you do when caregivers need caregiving? The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace. You have the Art of Influence, Inviting Success. The Art of Influence, Inviting Success into Your Everyday Life. Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose. Full of Tears. You have all of these that are at the bottom of this live. So all you have to do is just click on that and it will take you there. Okay. So we have, let me find her. Here she is. All right. Yeah, so we're about to talk about more in depth of Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose book. That is the book at the bottom. It is the pink book. So it's like the pink rose. You have the pink rose. The gold is the pink and gold. That is the book. It's titled Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose. So that is the book that we're about to talk about. All right, here she is. Here she is. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Pastor Roger.
I am wonderful and super excited.
Yes, I'm so glad. Listen, I was just talking about The Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose. And the great thing is that we're on Amazon Live. I don't have to share any links. Only thing there is right there, your book. They see it right at the bottom, Revealing the Purpose, Digging Diamonds. First, talk to us about who you are and what was your reason for writing the book.
You know, I am a marketplace apostle, so I'm engaging with
Yes.
women and men every day. And what I know to be true is that women have stories. And since the Old Testament days, God has used women in a powerful way as vessels to deliver a nation, to deliver a message, to rule like Deborah. Esther saved the nation. Mary gave birth, to Jesus. And so, but yet, on the flip
Yes.
side of it, women have had a struggle because of society limitations and perceptions and stereotypes. We've had a struggle with identifying our real purpose as a modern woman, to really hone in on our unique brilliance as a woman. And so it was my heart desire to gather a group of women, and in the case of Digging Diamonds, about 12, because the number 12
Wow.
is significant because Jesus had 12 disciples and they changed the world. And so it was my desire to gather about 12 women to tell their stories, to own their stories. And as a result of digging for diamonds, the real purpose, they would change the world. If not just their own, they would change other worlds as a result of the readers who would take advantage of this opportunity.
Yes. Listen, I
Yeah.
was just telling everyone that I didn't I feel like I didn't do the book justice, so I wanted to creatively bring you guys on to talk about the book, like you as the author, you as the author, and to share because I didn't really dig deep into, like you said, the 12 disciples, the analogy of that, the connection with that, and also it's a powerful tool for the marketplace. So I love the fact that you said this because with all of the books, it seems like we're all connecting. Like it's marketplace, it's leadership, it's
Yes.
purpose. But why did you choose to title it Revealing the Purpose?
Because without purpose, there's no meaning to life. And what I discovered in working with the women as a book coach, oftentimes we have to dig deep for the real reason why we are here.
Hmm.
It goes beyond raising a family. It goes beyond working a job. We were created in God's image. And so God created us with a purpose according to
Hmm.
Jeremiah 29:11. And I know that diamonds are not found on street corners. You have to dig deep to find a real diamond. And so as a result, you have to peel back the layers like an onion to really get to the heart of the issue, the heart of the matter, the heart of your purpose. Because once you discover purpose, life has new meaning. And so it gives you the energy, the breath, the wind to get up and to flow and to fly, with direction and
Hmm.
with clarity. And it's a lot of noise in the
Yes.
world today. And
Yes.
people are easily distracted. But if you can hone in, if you can identify and hone in and go in within you and find the peace, find the purpose, here's what I know, Bernice, you'll find prosperity.
I love that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
can authors expect from the first 3 pages? I mean, see, she didn't expect these questions, y'all. Okay, but let's just say the first 3 pages. What can readers expect from the first 3 pages of Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose?
The first chapter is by Minister Harriet Ward, and it's entitled Defeating the Spirit of Rejection. So, in the first 3 lines, the first 3 pages, we're going to deal with a common thing that most women struggle with: rejection. And in dealing with rejection,
Mhm.
you're going to go through a process of transformation and healing, just like Minister Harriet's story brings to life, because it's personal, it's real. Trauma is real. Rejection hurts. And so at the end of the day, if we want to be healed, we got to reveal and we
Mm.
must confront
I like that.
in order to be victorious. You know, we talk about being victorious, but you got to overcome to become an overcomer. You got to have a test to have a testimony. And so people can expect healing, transformation, clarification.
Mhm.
And with that, you know, you on your way. You're set for
Mhm.
destiny.
You speak a lot about clarity. When I follow you, like on social media and stuff, how important is clarity as it relates to purpose? Because you have the book revealing the purpose, but what's the connection between clarity and purpose?
Well, it's like the eyes to the soul. The
Hmm.
eyes see the way to go. And so clarity shows you the steps to take in life. And so the scripture says, lean not to your own understanding, because oftentimes we get it twisted. We are tossed to and fro. You know,
Hmm.
we have all of this noise between the right ear and the left ear. We have opinions. We have social media. You know,
Yes.
we have all of these things that are hollering at us, that are in our face. But if you get still and get
Mm.
clear, this is the
I
beauty of
love that.
clarity. It opens up the window of opportunities and blessing, because God says that he sent his son to give us life and life more abundantly. So
Yes.
without clarity, you can't reach, you know, your optimal position in life, which consists of abundance, health, wealth,
Yes.
prosperity, freedom, and the whole 9 yards.
I love it. I love it. And
Yeah,
it's titled Digging Diamonds, Revealing the Purpose of Your Brilliance.
of your brilliance. Everyone is beautiful. Everyone is brilliant. You know, and when you shine in your brilliance, when you own your power, when you stand forthright with clarity, with intention, being authentic, being genuine, you become unstoppable. And that's what I love about the women that were the co-authors with me. We are unstoppable. And I thank you so much for this opportunity to share and to begin to really take this journey to the next level.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Digging diamonds, revealing. So this is what I want to ask. So you mentioned the 12. How did you was it something strategic about the 12 with the women, or like what was the process like with because I know you all about clarity. So I had to ask when it came to this book, because when people before they decide to get the book, I want them to have a whole holistic experience about even the authors of the book, and know that you're not the only author. There are other authors. So, talk to us about that decision and who are some of the authors.
Yes. What I look for was women who were committed to finding or revealing or identifying their purpose. And so some of the authors consist of Kathy Jordan, Pastor Cynthia Allen, Minister Harriet Ward, Pastor Melinda Samuel, Letitia Burks, Pastor Patricia Lankin, Savina McFadden, Pastor Valerius Lindsay, Cynthia Boyer, and Cassandra Booker. And these women are across the nation, up and down the East Coast, from New York to Atlanta. And so it was a strategic plan to find women who really wanted to own their story, not ashamed of it,
Hmm.
okay, not in denial of it. People who want to be visible in the marketplace,
Yes.
because the way that we change a nation or change a community or change a family is one person at a time. And
Yes.
so bringing these 12 women together would be able to create momentum in their lives, in their families, in their communities, in the community, and ultimately, across the nation. And with digital media being what it is, we're
Mhm.
talking a global movement. We're talking about the start of something that could be global. So the
Yes.
women had to be willing and committed to doing the hard work because they had to go in. And
Yeah.
oftentimes when they started out, we had to disrupt the process of pain because some of them were holding on to the rejection. And when we had to write about, being
Mm,
hurt, being abused, being touched
mm.
in
There was a release.
illegal way, being taken advantage of, being denied because of our gender or because of our race or because of how tall or how short, we are. There's pain associated with that. And so they had to
Mm.
be committed to run the course and finish it. We had timelines, we had deadlines, to get this book in the marketplace. But I can assure you, at the end of the process, this is the beauty of the brilliant.
Yes. The
It's like,
beauty of
the
brilliance.
caterpillar turning into the butterfly. It
Yes.
was nothing but beauty, healing, and ultimately transformation and gratefulness. And so I'm going to do another project sometime soon, but right now we're still basking in the brilliance of
Yes.
digging diamonds, and we're excited.
Thank you so much for saying yes to this opportunity. It is now time for the other author, but I just wanted to say thank you so much
Thank you.
for saying yes to being on the Amazon Live platform. And you guys, again, you heard from the author about this book that's tagged to this live, so purchase now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Chantel, how are you doing?
I'm well, I'm well, I'm well. How are you?
Good. I see you as enjoying the other author too. I saw you backstage. You was like,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So
yes. I'm my
I
feelings.
wanted to just share with everyone who's watching now uh who Chantel is the author of Full of Tears. So for those who are watching and catching the even the replay of this, you'll hear that there are several other authors. I've introduced some of these books that you have attached to, actually, all of the books that are attached to this live, but I wanted to make sure you guys can hear from the authors about it because I didn't feel like I did much justice of it. I could just tell you a little bit, but the author definitely knows. So, talk to us first. Who is Chantel? And then tell us about the Full of Tears book.
Who is Chantel?
Mm-hmm.
Chantel is simply a woman saved by grace through faith.
Mm-hmm.
Happily married to my best blessing on this side of the earth,
He's
John
awesome.
Henry Walker. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That I will say. Whoop, whoop. Um, I'm a business owner. I own a home care agency called What We Do, called DJ's Home Care Specialist. I am an author. I'm a natural health consultant, but most of all, I love Jesus.
Yes.
I'm a soul winner for Christ. I love to build the kingdom. I love to lead them to repentance. That's my
Yes.
true joy.
Awesome. Love it. I love it. So talk to us though about Full of Tears. How did the Full of Tears come out? And so for those who are just catching this, we're talking about the book that's attached here titled The Full of Tears, the author Chantel Walker, Jackson Walker. On the book it says Chantel Jackson Walker. She's gonna talk to you guys about her book. So how did it come about? It's a really amazing title, Full of Tears.
The book Full of Tears, the title itself came about as I was writing. I journaled. I journaled
Okay.
through my from the 12th grade on up. I journaled, and I journaled through after joining the military. I just
Mhm.
journaled. And when my grandmother got sick, I went and sat at her bedside, and I started writing and writing and writing and writing. And at that time, I was spending the weekends in jail. I would go to jail on Fridays, and I would get out on Sundays. And at that moment, God started dealing with me sitting next to her bed about the generational curses and generational
Mm,
blessings. And when I came back home that weekend in particular, after spending that time in jail, He took me to Deuteronomy 28. And then he started dealing with me with blessings and curses. And so I had a vision, and the vision was a little girl looking up, but the little
Mm,
girl and the big girl both were crying. And so I started
that's
looking
your
and
cover.
seeking the picture. I started seeking the picture, and that's how it actually came about. And then the full of tears was because both of them was full of tears. There was a full of tears little child, and it was a full of tears grown woman. And so I said, that's the title, Full of Tears.
Oh, wow. That's prophetic. So you have the full of tears. That's how it came about. Talk to us about the inside of the book. Like what can a reader expect from this book?
A reader can expect if you open up Full of Tears, you're going to get transparency. You're going to get
Mm,
from the first page to the last page transparency and boldness and realness and truth.
mm,
But it helps you see that no matter what you go through in your life, that you can come out on the other side. And
mhm.
even though you may deal with rejection, you may deal with molestation, you may deal with drugs, you may deal with abuse, and it's different things in my personal life that I dealt with that I shared small testimonies through to show that in spite of whatever you run into, you can come out and you can come out victorious.
Yes, I love it. I'm gonna ask you what I asked the other author for the first, let me say the first chapter. For the first chapter, what can a reader expect from the first chapter of the book Full of Tears?
From the first chapter of Full of Tears, when you open it up, you'll deal with my rejection. You'll deal with if
Mm,
you're dealing with rejection, you'll deal with how to get through rejection. My mother told me that someone was my father that wasn't my father. We found out when I was literally going to I believe, the ninth grade, and I thought all those years that he was my father. And so I found out when he wasn't my father, that was my rejection point. That was the point that knocked me backwards. So at that time, because I found out that he wasn't my father, and I found out through a blood test that my oldest sister dad was my father, and he rejected me. So at that point, when he knew that he was
wow.
my father, that rejection is how I dealt with it. And so that's what you're going to find in the first chapter of that book.
Oh, wow. So let me ask this for a person who, may be listening to this and watching this even now or later and would say, wow, yeah, I definitely need that book. But for the person who might not, I'm going to say this, some people may have experienced rejection, but not really admitting to openly share that they are going through that or even know some of the signs. Can you speak to that? Like, why um would they need this book, or just speak to it from that perspective?
I would definitely say they need the book because of the
Okay.
fact rejection will hit any kind of way. It may not be
Hmm.
a stage of rejection that's that stinging, but
Yeah.
rejection hits all kind of way. It may be your daughter coming home and saying, "Mama, they didn't like my shoes today," and then all of a sudden she goes in her room. You don't realize that she's dealing with
Yes.
rejection because now she's shutting herself down and she's no longer coming sitting at the table, and you don't know why. But if you read Full of Tears, then now you say, wait a minute, I
That makes
remember,
sense.
I remember. And that's what Full of Tears is about. Full of Tears is one of those books that it's a short, powerful testimony. It's a powerful testimony that God allowed me to live through, to tell the story through, but to help others identify rejection,
Hmm.
identify things that may be going on with their children.
Yes. Hi, my level 10 life. Good morning. Love hearing from authors and getting ideas. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for following as well. I see you followed the Amazon Live channel. I'm now talking to Chantel Walker. She's the author. You see the book that's attached to this live. It's titled Full of Tears. And so she's talking about this book, and you can simply just click that link and order the book Full of Tears. And um, she's talking about rejection. Her first chapter, I asked her about the first chapter and how people do need this book. What is the second chapter?
The second chapter is actually going to open you up unto being free,
Mm,
but it's being free now, past the father. Now you're going to high school because, like I said, that happened right before the middle school. So now it hits high school. So now it's telling, now you're going into my life, that what happened past the rejection, what happens after you've been rejected. So now you're going to
mm,
deal with that. You're going to deal, because a lot of times in life we go through stages. It may be one thing that crush you, but then it's something else that builds you, and then it's maybe something else that breaks even that crushing
mm.
after you've
That's
been
good.
again. And that's what goes on in that next chapter. Now I'm going to restructure, but in my restructuring in that chapter, you're going to find out high school wasn't what the normal high school would have been for me, versus me not being rejected prior to.
Transparency. Seems
Complete.
like there's a like you said, complete transparency of the book. And I think, I know that's what people need is transparency for someone to you said absolutely, what an inspiration. Awesome. Thank you, my level 10 life. Um Yes, I believe that is exactly what people need is complete transparency. Let me say, what was the feeling like after reading? And I asked this only because the last author was talking about, there were some challenges, but then after the project was done, I think her word was brilliance. There was like a, that it was completed. What was it like for you? And I asked this from a pain perspective or from that feeling of, oh man, it is done. Was it somewhat of a release to you, or did you experience that release prior? What was that emotionally for you?
For me, it was an amazing experience. My father that I mentioned, my actual biological father, had passed away, and I found
Mm,
out he had passed away right prior to releasing this book. Of course, my dream all my life was to meet him face to face, and I never had. And he died. Well, when he died, God told me, sitting in the living room on the floor, that he had always been my father. So when I released this book, I got to do I got to dance to that song, Dancing with My Father. And that's what it was. It was joy for me. It was a release, because now the person that I thought, that I held all that in, because of the rejection, I thought, oh God, it's going to be so bad. But it wasn't.
yes.
It was Dancing with My Father. I played that song over and over again. Kevin LeVar had a song, A Heart That Forgives is a heart that, and
I
it
love that
literally,
song.
I worship that song through. And afterwards, though, the release was so amazing. It was so amazing. Like
Yes.
the caterpillar going into that butterfly, true transformation had taken place, and then I could stand in my own victory to help someone else overcome theirs.
Listen, for those who are watching this and who are going to catch the replay, this sounds like an amazing book. And again, this book, I know you see other books attached to this Amazon Live, but what we're talking about right now is the book. It is the it's full of tears. It's a book with the two young ladies, the little girl and the adult lady, that are full of tears. So this is the book that we're talking about right now. And I want to, hey, M.A. Jones, thank you so much for following this Amazon Live. Right here, you hear and see the author of The Full of Tears, and it's Chantel Walker, and she's covering and just talking about The Full of Tears, about rejection. What other things that you feel people who maybe have not experienced or have not gone through the rejection, and that might not be their part, but who would you encourage, who others would you encourage to get this book? What other areas does this book cover for those who might say, this book might not be for me because I haven't gone through rejection? So, what other areas would you say this book will speak to those individuals?
This book definitely speaks to young women. This book
Okay.
speaks to any mother that has a daughter. It definitely speaks to you. It speaks to you in different levels. It speaks to you, and it helps you to
Mm,
see signs, because of the transparency in the book. You get to see the signs that even you may not, it may not be you, but it may be
that's
something.
good.
Many times I've had people purchase this book. This book has been out for almost 5 years. I've had people
Mm,
purchase this book, but the book goes to someone else's bedside. And then it goes to
that's
someone.
good.
And so, and it's because of the book, of the transparency of it. It may not be something for you, but if you have a children's group, a youth group, anywhere from the age of 16 on up, you need this book in your hand.
Yes.
If you're dealing with women that's broken and they don't know how to tell their story, you need this book in your hand. If you're dealing with someone that's on drugs, that wants to come off of drugs, that's on alcohol, that wants to come off of alcohol, they need this book in their hands. It tells a story. It's a clear
Yes.
story of addiction, but it's a true story. But it's a true story, but it's a true testimony that
I
delivers.
love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you so much for the new follow GPS. A GBS. I was thinking of GPS. GBS. Thank you so much for the Amazon Live following. This is Chantel. We're talking about this book, Full of Tears. You'll see it here linked up. It's titled Full of Tears, and she's talking about the book Full of Tears. And I'm glad you made a great point about it may not be for you or one person specifically, but it's for someone. And I'm glad you in this book include the signs, because I think that's really important, because sometimes we can be so busy and not take a moment and really recognize the signs of people who are dealing with abuse, rejection, hurt, pain. And so I'm so glad that you mentioned that that's included inside the book. So, guys, get the book. You already have a supporter, my level, who says yes, absolutely. So they will be getting the book, and I want to make sure that you have some final words. Please share with everyone.
Yeah, I just would like to say thank you, Bernice, for having me on your platform. I definitely appreciate you.
You're
Her
welcome.
Full of Tears definitely is a book that you want to have in your hands. It's a book that literally it was birthed out of pain, but it's walked out in victory. It's walked out
Mm.
in victory. And so to each of you, I thank you for you this time.
All right, thank you so much. All right. So we have heard from the author Chantel. You have the books listed in the bottom of this Amazon Live, and we just talked to Chantel about the book Full of Tears. You'll see the book. It is the black book with the young lady, the little girl, and the young lady. So next, I'm going to talk about the book. Miss Betty Speaks is the author, and she's going to come up shortly. And that book I was talking about earlier too. This book by Miss Betty Speaks is titled "The Resurrection." Let me say, Dr. Betty Speaks, "The Resurrection Imprint." ACT. This book is a book for leaders. So if you are a leader, you've been following me, yes, I think so too. GVS says the excitement and realness of these authors is awesome. I really think so too, and I'm glad to have this creative thought, because sometimes I could just come on. I'm on Amazon, and I share about tools that are here on Amazon, but I'm like, there are some amazing authors, and these are some books that I have read, several of them that I have read, and I know that there are some great books. And so I'm going to talk about the books, but I'm also going to invite some of the authors in, because, like I said, I don't think I could do 100% justice of the book because I didn't write the book. So I wanted to invite some of the authors who actually wrote these books that are on Amazon. And so all you guys have to do is learn more from these authors and make the decision to click the link and order these amazing books that they have. So far, I definitely can say these are some books that you definitely need to get. Like, at first, I was like, you guys need to get the book. I know these authors, they are amazing. I know each time they write a book, it's amazing. But to literally hear from them, I know, like, wow, this is really amazing. And like she said, she's giving you some tips that you can use, that can help you, show you signs of people who've been rejected. These are some great times. So here we have now Dr. Betty Speaks. Welcome.
Yes, yes. I'm
You doing okay?
Yes, ma'am. I have no idea what the weather's like where you are, but you're in Savannah,
I'm
Georgia.
in Savannah, Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been kind of like rainy these couple of days, but today it's pretty good. No rain so far, but it's been pretty good. We have a couple of people on now that are excited about learning about these books that we have at the bottom of this Amazon Live, and one of these books that's on this live is yours, and it's the Resurrection Imprint ACT. You talk about leadership. This is a book, and it says leaders bring excuse me, leaders rising to lead posts.
In the
First, that's an
post-COVID
interesting.
era.
Yeah, I like that. First, introduce yourself, and then talk about this book. Um, I'm interested to know a little bit about this book, and I know those who are watching and now are interested to know about it. So, first, introduce yourself, and let's go into this amazing book that you have.
Yes, yes, absolutely, my sister. One of the things I always do is ask individuals, are you leaving a lifetime imprint? You know, some people
Mm,
talk about purpose and other things, but I want to know, are you leaving a lifetime imprint? And yes, my name is Dr. Betty Speaks. I am your lifetime imprint leader, facilitator. I as a life as I change as a I change nations global civility icon. That's who I am. Also, and an ambassador. I'm extremely passionate about empowering individuals to resurrect and establish themselves through ideally the four components of life, which is spiritual growth, financial
yes,
literacy, personal development, and professional development. So I am that chosen warrior. And I say warrior because I spent half of my life in the military. So yes, I've served my
yes,
country. So who and I inspire others to create an imprint that will live on long after they are gone. So long gone are the leaving a legacy. Let's leave that imprint. I
mm,
love to inspire others to soar with hope. And when I say soar, I mean seize opportunities and resurrect. When I tell you
mm,
soar, seize opportunities and refocus. And then when I tell a person that I love to inspire them with hope, help other people excel, like what you're doing today. Inspire other people with hope, help other people enjoy life, even in the midst of everything that's
yes,
going on in Haiti or is Afghanistan, and currently what we're going through today with this
yes,
storm. So help other people enjoy life in spite of. And then my last hope is help other people every single day. Just don't give up. So one has to realize that their strength doesn't come from what they can do. It comes from overcoming things you once thought you couldn't. So as an I Change Nation global civility icon, my purpose is to help you resurrect your dreams and help you create an imprint that you envision on leaving in this world for its eternity. As an I Change Nations global civility icon, speaker, author, and CEO, I
yes.
am known as that innovative influencer, educating others to leave in an intentional imprint that will outlive the universe. I can go on and on,
I
but I'll
love
stop
it.
right there.
Yes, listen, and I could tell I could feel your passion. Now let me stop here. Someone says, "Great, great." Yes, someone says, "Awesome guest today." The excitement and realness of authors. Yes, it's amazing. Thank you so much. As I'm reading the comments from the Amazon Live section, these are amazing authors. And for this one, I'll pause from time to time of the interviews because we have several books under this Amazon Live. So I want to
Mhm.
make sure I just introduce you guys of each person that I'm speaking to today so you'll know which book we're talking about like right now. So right now, this is the author, Dr. Betty Speaks, of the book that's at the bottom. It's the blue, an amazing blue and white book. There she goes. She has it. It's the Resurrection Imprint ACT. You can get it right on Amazon right here. And so I wanted to creatively just have a conversation with the authors today who wrote this book. I can share about the book. Yes, amazing. But you as an author can give more insight. And so for those who don't know, as I stated, we have books scrolling here at the bottom, but this is the book that we're talking about right now, and it's titled The Resurrection Imprint. Let me ask you this, Dr. Speak. You have the resurrection and the imprint, right? So when I think of resurrection, it's something that has to it has it's like it's a to me sort of like a effect of something was dead or something was not so um moving, but that resurrection gave life to it. So what was your what was your meaning behind putting those two together with the resurrection? I just had to ask because
Yes,
it was so
yes.
significant of I think all authors have a purpose of why they do certain things. So I want to
Hmm.
ask you what was the purpose behind putting those two words together, the resurrection impact? Because you can make an impact, but what is
Hmm.
the resurrection impact?
How often do we hear transformation? We've heard
Hmm.
transformation of coast, transformation from this, transformation. How about overcoming? We've heard those words before. I was born April 4th. You know
Yes.
the year later, but April 4th this year just so happened to be Resurrection Day. It was Easter Sunday, April 4th of this year. And you're right. There are times in our lifetimes when we resurrect from something. I always tell people that death came knocking at my door 3 times, and in the name of
Wow.
the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, He told me each time you should live and not die. Jesus, he was resurrected. He rose, and when I say death, that's because
Mm.
I've been on battlefields for my country, and then after being on battlefields, I was exposed to cancer August 8th, 2018. And then my husband blesses me with a puppy that was born on August 8th. So when I tell you
Oh.
people resurrect, each time when my doctor called me on August 8th, 2018, and she said, I had to be the one to share this with you because everyone was so shocked when we got your results. And I'm thinking, what is she talking about? And she went on, and I'm like, will you please get to the bottom of the,
Yes.
just tell me why is my doctor calling me on August 8th, the year of the great 2018 at 8 a.m. It was to tell me that I had cancer. And I didn't hear anything else. All I heard was the Charlie Brown operator going wah 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 wah. And I'm thinking, I have participated in every American Cancer Society donations. I have done the relays. I have done the 24-hour walks for those who were exposed to cancer. And then I went on to wail. I'm telling you, not cry, but wail. Lord, I've been your faithful one. I've fought in your battles. I've been a faithful
Mm.
wife, a faithful daughter. And I went on and on about my faithfulness, and I wailed for 2 weeks. And I'm going to tell you, my sister, after wailing, when I couldn't shed another top tear, he said, are you done? Are you done? You know, why are you
Yeah.
done weeping? And I'm thinking, this is a real life conversation I'm having with someone, just me in my house for 2 weeks
Hmm.
by myself. He says, you're one of my toughest soldiers. You're going to live and
Mm.
not die. This is not for you. What did I tell you in Deuteronomy chapter 14? You're one of my chosen ones. I have favored you. And I'm thinking,
Wow.
oh my goodness, so the Resurrection Imprint Act, Maya Angelou did it. She was born on April 4th. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. He was killed on April 4th, and he still lives. He may not be here
Legacy,
in this.
impact,
There
imprint.
it is. Yes, yes. They were legacy. There was those individuals that left an imprint. They were leaders. So in the leaders rising to lead during post COVID era, it's coming. Everyone is saying it's coming back. But this book have so many tools and tactics and motivation and
Yes.
inspirational strategies that one could still live on, leave a legacy in the midst of going through COVID, in the midst of what's taking place in Haiti, in the midst of what's going on in Afghanistan, in the midst of what's the storm name that they're talking about today? In the midst
Yes.
of even this storm. So when people are talking about transformation, why not talk about resurrection?
Mm.
We're going to go through
I
some
love
tough
it.
times in life, but we can still leave an imprint. Look what you're doing here, my sister. Look what you have done since I met you 6 years ago. Look at the changes, the
That
imprint
is
you
awesome.
have left. I mean, I've seen you with celebrities. I've seen, and you're in Savannah, Georgia. And a lot of people don't know where Savannah, Georgia is, or even
Mhm.
how beautiful it is. But you're leaving an imprint even in Savannah, Georgia. So
That
it
is
doesn't
awesome.
matter. And this book is so easy to read. You can have your teenagers read it. It can be
Is
used in,
exactly what I was going to ask you. Like,
yes.
what's the audience like for those? And thank you for the follow, Chantel. Yeah, that's it, Missy S. Thank you. She says, "I know the plans I have for you. You are
Mm.
so encouraging." Yes, that's the word. I was going to ask you, like, for those who are going to. Thanks for following, Missy S. I appreciate it. Where I'm talking to Betty Speaks, Dr. Betty Speaks. She's talking to the book that's at the bottom of this live, this Amazon live, the Resurrection Imprint. I was gonna ask you who's it for? Is it
This book
who can get this book?
This book is for youth ministries, youth leaders, all the way up to women's ministry, children's ministry. It is just that broad where one could take this
Mm.
book, even in schools. You could use it in high school, colleges, anywhere. I wrote this book, and it's affordable for a teenager to say, you know what, I want to get that book. And there are tests in here, tools where one
Oh,
could
awesome.
test themselves. Yes, sometimes, my husband, when my husband is retired from work,
ACT.
yes, act. It's an act, imprint act. You can
Hmm.
take it for action, take act now, but anything when you pass an act, when this is going to be an act one day. This is going to be in
Yes.
universities one day.
You better
People are
speak
going
it.
to, yes, they're going to read this book just like they did Maya Angelou's book. I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. They're going to be singing. I know why Dr. Betty
Yes.
Speaks wrote the Resurrection Imprint Act, because you can rise above anything. And it doesn't matter. That child that have gone through something in life, we can start
Yes.
teaching them now. Hey, all you got to do is rise above it. Show others how you were bullied, but you out bullied them. You
Yes.
outsmarted them because they thought they had the best of you. For those kids that are going through difficult times, even in the midst of the coronavirus, or now they're calling it Delta something. You can take these books and learn how to implement things in your life and rise and
Yes.
resurrect from them. I'm telling you, just
I
to
love it.
have my birthday on April 4th this year. And I was asking the Lord, my husband said, what do you want for your birthday next year? I said, my birthday's on Resurrection Day. That day is so powerful. That's
Yes.
the day Maya Angelou was born. That's the day Dr. Martin Luther King died. And both of them are still living. A lot of people
Mm.
don't even know that they're
That
gone.
that imprint is still
Yes,
here.
it's still here. So then I came out with that. It's a resurrection song. I said, that's what I want to publish for my
Yes.
birthday. And this book came out the same month, along the same time frame. And it is so affordable, my sister. I'm telling you, it will be life changing. And it's not even, it's very, it's like, it's not like the books you get that have like 10 pages in it and you
Mhm.
pay 20 or $30 for it.
Yes.
This book have enough pages in it and enough examples, and it doesn't have like 50 pages with lines in it. How you try to
Yes.
help some people out, and then they give you this book, and you got all these pages with 100 lines in it. This is an application book. This book
Awesome.
will be is international, and I encourage anyone to get it as a gift, to share my story. I share my
Mhm.
brothers when they purchased the book, they were like, I had no clue. I had
Yes.
no clue what you went through in war. I had no clue what you experienced with cancer. I had no
Yes.
clue of the reminiscences of the fallouts of the things that still haunted you about being at war. Because Denise, as a leader, you're supposed to lead.
Yes.
Leaders lead others. And as a female leader, let me tell you, my sister, you
Yes.
can show no weakness. You always have to be gird up, and
Yes.
then you have to go to that little prayer room when you feel weak to get some more juice in you so you can go back up and stand up tall for
Yes.
for your soldiers, for those that you are leading. And sometimes people don't see the weakness in you because we're trained not to show it. We are
Mhm.
trained to be
Yes.
excellent in what we do. And now we want to train. And I know you are a great leader because I see you. Like I said, I've known you for 6 years. I've watched you grow. And I
Oh,
know, I
where are you
remember, I,
located?
I remember. I'm sorry.
Where are you located?
I'm in South Carolina, but I know all about.
We're so close.
Yes,
We
we
have to
are.
meet one day.
We do. We've talked about it, but you flew like you soared. You
God is
soared like an
awesome.
eagle, and that's why you have left in powerful imprints. I've watched you. I watch others that are leaving imprints. So that's my new language for what we're
Right.
doing, and who left that legacy imprint for
Yes.
us to follow. And I thank you for this platform.
You're
I've been trying to
welcome. Say
share.
hello to Lindsay. Lindsay says good day, and she says, "Wow, Resurrection Day." Yes, we're talking to Doctor Speaks, the book that's attached, titled "The Resurrection Imprint Act." It's a tool. It's like a guide for leaders. I
Mhm.
can I can if I would describe it, you
Yes,
said
yes.
practical tools and things that actually working like a work. Is it sort of like a
Mhm.
workbook?
It is. It's both.
Okay.
It's both in one. It's informational, and then, like you said, it has strategies and tools. It has quotes of some of our other leaders, and honestly, the individual that wrote the forward to this book is the president of I Change Nations, and he's now
Oh,
he was throned as a king. He's now a king in Guyana, Africa.
awesome.
So yes, so I mean, he's a phenomenal leader. And I'm telling you, when you read the vision of this book and how we want to change the language in the world,
Yes.
give from a child all the way up to an
Yes.
adult, and just to see kids that I love to see this because
Yes.
um, the pigeons on it, not the pigeons, but the penguins on the cover that are leading because leaders leap.
I see
You know,
that. I
yes,
see
we
that.
leap. We take the opportunities and leap forward and not backwards. We do the example of taking that first leap. That's what a leader does. You
I
know,
love it.
and as you look at that picture, I can see the other penguins are looking down, but there's a hole there. How are we going to jump over that? But that's what we do. We take a leap. We
Yes.
have to jump up and then over.
Yes.
Even when we go through these things in life, we have to jump up and then over the hurdle. That's what they're doing. And the leaders took
Yes.
off and showed the example. My grandson loves this book just for the cover
Yeah,
itself.
I
And he,
noticed that. I like it. I even like the color, I'm strategically I look at things from a color perspective as well. So I
yes.
even like that the blue and how you have the other penguin who's Lord, it's like it's teaching, it's showing you
Mm-hmm.
what the book is about. You have that one leader who's
Mm-hmm.
leading the others out, and I like that. It's noticeable.
Yes. And I have to tell you, being a female, Black African American female at that, we do have things we have to rise above. We've come a long way today. And
Yes.
and that's all about resurrection. We have to go
Yes.
back and look at the people that set the example and paved the way for us to do so. And
Yes.
all of that is, I'm telling you, my sister, this book here, I love going over it.
I
I,
could tell, but I have to go because I have another author who who's,
yes.
who's on this time as well. But everyone, this is Doctor Speaks, Betty Speaks. She's talking about, has talked about her book, The Resurrection Imprint Act. A great tool for leaders. So it's right here at the bottom of this Amazon Live. You'll see it here. We just described the cover with it's the only book down there with the penguins. Amazing, colorful book, and so it's a great tool. And I want to again thank you so much for saying yes to this opportunity.
Yes, and I do want to say that I do have takeaways for like giveaways to the first.
All right, so looks like we lost her, but I want to, yes, she. Thank you so much. I see Amazon customer. Thank you. You said thank you, Dr. Betty. She did amazing, 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 amazing interview. Uh, and as we're waiting for the other interview, interview guest. You'll see her book, and it's at the bottom of this as well. And it's titled The Art of Influence. The author of this book, you see her, she's on the cover like this. That is Mrs. Cheryl Williamson. She has definitely made an impact on what we call the imprint, as we just discussed with Dr. Betty Speaks. So I'm excited to be speaking with her. And then after that, we're going to talk about the other book. I shared a little bit earlier about the book. You said thank you. Yes, thank you, Lindsay. She was inspiring. Yes, she is. She continues to inspire us, and as we say, making an impact and an imprint, building a legacy. And that's what I really believe it's about, making an impact, not just doing something, but leading the way into something. And what I've heard from the other authors as well, like Chantel, Dr. Lugenia Rucker, who mentioned about how they've been writing through something. They're leading the way. They have experienced something. Like Dr. Speaks, who said she experienced, going through cancer and having to lead the way through that. Well, God has a way of teaching us things that as we're going through it, going through the process, we are leaders. We are leading the way as we're going through this process. So this is what it's about. Is not only I'm sharing something. That's why I was giving God the glory. She was saying about, me making an impact and imprint and helping leaders. Listen, I get no glory for this. Like, it's definitely God. I thank him for this opportunity. I thank him for these open opportunities where I get to share with you guys, Amazon Live customers here, and those who are floating through Amazon Live, those who are catching this replay of it. But I'm just grateful. I am grateful to be able to share this platform and to talk about these amazing books that's on this Amazon platform. And so here it is. We're talking about these books today. And that's literally it. We're talking about these books, and we talked about, thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. Thank you for the follows. I see you guys are following this Amazon Live as well, and so I appreciate you following the live also. And um as we're waiting for let's see, we're waiting for Miss Cheryl. I want to ask if anybody had any questions about the book so far. So far, they've been very explanatory. How often do I come on? Well, this is the very first time that I came on from a author perspective. This is what I call my Amazon Live authors edition, but I do come on from time to time. I try to come on at least once a week or every other week, and this channel I talk about different tools of live streaming to help those who are wanting to know how to get through with their podcasting. So I talk from a technical product side that you can purchase these products on Amazon to help you with your setup with live streaming, to help you set up with your podcasting. If you're wanting to do certain lives, this is where I have the channel for the Amazon Live channel. But I decided, I'm reading some amazing books. I know some amazing authors. So I decided to do the Amazon authors edition to bring on. So most times we are in this pandemic time, we are mainly, if not, we're mainly like in a space, not really, we're social distancing. We have a time that sometimes we may be to ourselves or amongst those that we know, but if not, we are mainly having like a little downtime. And so I wanted to talk about from this downtime what books we can read, how can we educate ourselves, how we can change as a leader, because we know during this pandemic things have changed. So I wanted to bring on some other authors to help us through this time as we're changing, and so this is the purpose of this live, Lindsay. Thank you so much for asking that. But this is it. So we also have Deborah Franklin, who's going to come on now. Let me tell you about this book. Deborah Franklin, she is her book, if you can look is the prayer of Jabez in the marketplace, making the prayer of Jabez personal and intentional to enlarge your business. Now, that book you'll see here is a picture, looks like, of a young man who's kneeled down at the bottom of this Amazon Live. And the book is of a young man who's just like this, kneeled down for prayer. And so the title of her book is The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace, making the prayer of Jabez personal and intentional to enlarge your business. Listen, yes. We need prayer when it comes to our business. This is awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your support. I hope that also you're sharing this live as well for those who are readers, who are avid readers, who want to get more into reading and learning. I'm just a avid of learning, educating myself to make sure that if I'm a leader, I need to learn how to be more equipped, how to effectively do things, how to be aware of the changing times and what tools I can use during these changing times. And so I always encourage those who have been following my journey through entrepreneurship, who's been following, like she said, I didn't even realize Dr. Speaks even knew of the exact time that she said 6 years, she's been observing the things that God is doing in my life. So, I like to say during the time people are observing, I like to educate myself. And so these are some amazing books that I wanted to take you guys on this journey today of some books that you can read that can help you through your journey as well while you're on Amazon shopping. Why not educate yourself while you're on this amazing platform? So this is this is it, you guys. I'm taking you on my journey as we're learning. You get to hear not only from my perspective about these books, but you also get to hear from these amazing authors as well. So this is it. All right, let me ask, here she is. But yeah, um this is literally it. And so we're gonna have the prayer of Jabez. Anybody, have you ever heard of the prayer of Jabez before? When it comes to your books, let me ask that. Has anybody is this new to you with the book? All right, she's trying to get on. So she's about to be on, y'all. She's about to be on. Okay, cool. Missy says she's familiar. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Have you heard of this book before, Missy, and anyone? Because I'm going to bring on Deborah, who she's going to talk about this book, The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace. And from there, also, we're going to have Miss Twyla Reed. And I was sharing a little bit earlier about Miss Twyla Reed and her book about what do you do when the caregivers need caregiving. Now, that is like, whoa, that's amazing. That's a great topic. Um, so we're going to have the caregiving book. That's also some great tools. She shares her story. She shares her testimony in this book, sort of like the other books too. It seems like um some of the authors are coming from the area of transparency. I love books like that. I love books where I can hear the transparency from the authors and not just quotes. Sometimes I kind of like, okay, that's a good quote, but I want to be able to feel what I'm reading, and identify that I'm reading something that the author has gone through. And I like to have that point like, okay, yeah, I've been there, I've experienced that. And what I like to call known points. Those are points that I know. Now, how can their transparency, how can it help me? It can help in ways that when someone is they're transparent, they're gone through that, but they can give you some amazing tips and tools of how they got out of it. So that it seems like this is where we're going with some of the authors, is that they're sharing. In fact, all the authors so far that I've talked to, they're coming from their perspective, their story. And this is what these books are have in common. They have a common ground. The prayer from scripture. Haven't heard of this book. Okay, so well, here you go. You have an opportunity to hear from the book. I'm trying to see. Oh, looks like she's coming on, but she is here. She's just logging on. All right, she is here. She's just logging on. All right, here you go. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I
She's
am so
here.
sorry. Oh my God. When I tell y'all technology is a beast, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yes, but I'm glad you're here. So, I don't want to take too much of your time. You know, you have the time slot of 10:15 to 10:30. I mean, 12, excuse me, 12:15 to 12:30. So I don't want to take too much of your time. I want you to go right into who you are. We have an Amazon customer who says they've heard of the prayer from the scripture, but they haven't heard of this book. So, which is a great thing because they're here, they can shop, right?
Awesome.
But who are you? And talk to us about your book and why did you decide to write this book?
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Deborah Franklin. I help high achieving women to tell their story, to develop it into multiple streams of income, basically to increase your VIP status. Because when you can
Mm,
have your visibility, you have influence, and you're making profits, you are a true VIP. And
yes.
that's what I do. So, the prayer of Jabez, oh my God, it's such a powerful scripture. For it to be so short, it has
Mm,
so much power. When I read it the first time, yes, I am a fan of the original one. Yes, I did read
yes.
it. And somebody said, "So why'd you do it?" I said, "Because I came from a different perspective. It's
I
the
love
prayer
it.
of Jabez from in the marketplace." And so
Mm,
I was going through so many different situations when I was trying to expand my business. I was trying to do certain things, and all I kept saying is, "God, enlarge my territory." But
hmm.
then it started to think about it. What does that really mean?
Yeah.
When you say enlarge your territory, what does that really mean? Are you being intentional? Are you being specific? And that's what I had to start to think about. What does my
Hmm.
territory look like? And then
Yes.
when you look at that scripture even more, it says it says that and she named her son Jabez because she
Hmm.
called her pain. And I said, okay, so what is this? What is causing me pain that I cannot expand my business? What is causing me pain that I cannot walk in my true calling, my true anointing, and do what I have really been
Hmm.
called to do? So I started thinking about that. Usually, what's holding us back in our personal lives holds us back in our business lives. And that's what
Yes.
that is talking about. And when I say enlarge my territory, I had to give that territory a name. Like my territory, God, I want you to expand my territory in
Being
my
specific.
customers. I want you to expand my territory and being able to be an international seller, an international speaker.
Mm,
God, I want you to enlarge my territory that I can also be a philanthropist as well as being able to make money myself. Now, mind you, my philanthropy
yes.
is not that big, but hey, I've been able to give a little bit,
But you
do a
can
little something,
speak.
something.
You can
You
speak.
know what I'm
But
saying?
okay, let me ask you this because it seems like you it's it's sort of like the scripture where it says you speak those things that are not as though they were. It would you are you in this book, are you giving some type of strategy in speaking? What can people expect? Because that's what I'm hearing from you. But what can they like if they open this book?
Okay,
Say they've
so
opened and I'm talking about this book for those who are just coming on. This is the author Deborah Franklin, and you'll see her book here is titled The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace right here on Amazon Live at the bottom here. The young man who has his hand and he's praying. So we're talking about that book. So if someone opens it, what can they expect?
you're expecting power
Hmm.
because it takes you on a journey of each step of that scripture. Like, how, what does enlarge my territory? Am I causing pain? What
Yes.
have I caused pain, or is somebody causing pain to me? What am I doing to make myself better? You will go through steps. There is also, even without the workbook, you'll be able to go through these steps and still be able to maneuver through.
So there's a
It
workbook.
has, yes, there is a workbook.
Okay.
Um, you can also we give specific prayers, specific. No, let me just go ahead and tell you, it gives you specific homework. You have tasks to do, because so many times we pick up these books and they really just start gathering dust, or you pick up these books and you never do what it says because it
Mhm.
doesn't give you what to do. And I'm not trying to say that you don't know what to do, but I literally, there's a part in there. I say, go write the vision, make it plain. Habakkuk 2 and 2.
Yes.
Put it up on your mirror so that way you can see it. Because how you gonna guard
Yes.
your territory and you don't even know what it's supposed to look like? You haven't even
Mm.
designed it.
I
Then it
love
even
that.
goes through a piece of, what does pain look like? Am I suffering from pain of my past? And then we just go ahead and tap into it, because I know the church people are watching. Am I suffering from church hurt? Is this why I can't be in my business? Because I'm worried about Reverend such and such, what they said to me. I'm worried about Sister such and such, what she said to me. Now let's take
Yes.
it a step further. Am I dealing with pain from my mother? Am I dealing pain
Mm.
from my sibling? Am I dealing with pain, or am I causing pain to myself? You go through an exercise to
I
identify that
love
pain
that.
so you can alleviate that, because you can't, a broke car don't move.
Mhm.
If you on four flats, where you going?
Nowhere.
Absolutely.
And I like how you said about the personal. If you're having some challenge or things that you're dealing with personal, it moves on over to the business side. I love how you connected to. Because let me ask you this: what are some signs of a business owner, those in the marketplace, that there's an issue going with the personal?
You know
What
what
are
the
some
biggest thing
signs?
is? Your insecurity. Because you don't trust others, you don't trust yourself.
Hmm.
You think that everybody's out to get you. Oh, I can't tell anybody about what I'm doing. Oh, I can't work with this woman because, I don't work with women. Women are messy,
Yes.
women are catty. I can't do that. That's something that you're dealing with personal, that you're taking over to your business. You also, I can't work with this man because he looked like the man that laughed at me when I walked across the street. It's silly
Hmm.
stuff,
Yes.
that we do, that we should be able to alleviate, to move forward in our
Yes.
lives of what we're going to do. And so that's why we have got to work on that personal. If we don't work on the personal, then we definitely cannot move it forward in any aspect of our lives.
Yes, yes, I love it. So you guys hear it. This is what you can expect. Now, is this a book just for someone? Because I see the title of the marketplace. Is this for someone who's already in it, or is this for someone who's wanting to go into the marketplace? What's the audience of this book?
It's actually both, because
Okay.
that's, for some reason, that's how I write. I don't even know why. I don't even know how God gave it to me. I
So
don't even know how
I'll
this even
ask.
happened. You know, but it's like, it's almost to the point, do I fix myself before I get started? Yes. Can I fix myself after I got started? Absolutely. So
Mhm.
that's what this book does for you. It reaches you at whatever level that you're on, because again, in order for us to go forward, it doesn't matter when you figure out that, hey,
Yes.
I'm messing up something. It doesn't matter what stage you're in. It's just a matter that you want to get better, you want to fix it, you want to move forward, and you want to be successful. You want to see the prize now, and not somebody talk about, oh, she could have won a prize, but she dead and gone. No, man, get up and live and win your prize in the
Yes.
audience. It is not being selfish, because the Bible tells us that our gift will make room for us, and
Yes.
we just have to operate in our gift. And so many times you operate in somebody else's gift and not yours, and that's why you're not seeing the success that you
Mm.
need.
I love that. I love that. Yes, I love that. Listen, I asked the other authors this, and I want to ask you this.
Oh
What
Lord.
can no, I mean, I think it was really good. Um, so now I see a Amazon customer who says they haven't heard of this book, but now you've heard of the Prayer of the Jabez in the Marketplace. What can readers expect in the very first chapter?
Oh, in the very first chapter, we talk about um, what is enlarging your territory.
Hmm.
What does that really mean? And then, actually, no, let me take that back. We actually go through the full scripture. Hold on, let me look. Y'all know look. I'm gonna pull this thing up so I can be right, because I don't want to play with the people. So, it's like we go through the scripture First of all, you go for, oh, that's what it is. It's about making it intentional and making it personal. You
Hmm.
go through the scripture, you pray the prayer of Jabez just the way it is. And when you do that, then after that, you pray the prayer of Jabez in your own words. You're adding you into it, because when you make
Yes.
it personal and you make it personal and you make it intentional, you are doing that, because it says Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. His mother named him Jabez, said, I gave birth to him again. Jabez cried out to God of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory. Let your hands be with me and keep me from the
Yes.
evil one. Now, instead of saying me, you go back and you put your first name. Deborah
Yes.
cried out to the God of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from the evil one. Then, when you go back again, you take territory and you give it a territory. uh, Deborah cried
Yes.
out to the God of Israel,
Being
saying, oh,
intentional.
that you would bless me and enlarge my business, enlarge my family, enlarge my finances, enlarge my connections. Make it intentional, you make it personal, and
Yes.
then you're giving yourself, it's almost like you're giving yourself the opportunity to dream and to dream big, and putting it into the atmosphere, that whatever you put in the atmosphere, you are expecting God to bless it, and you are expecting God to water it, you are expecting God to
I
make
love
it
it.
flourish. And then when it starts talking about that, my favorite thing, it says that you will keep me from evil, and that I no no when it says about I don't want to cause pain. What have you
Mm.
caused pain? Forgive me for what I caused. Forgive me for lying to my
Yes.
brother. Forgive me for cheating on my taxes. Forgive me for not speaking to someone that
Yes.
need to be spoke to. Forgive me for not being nice.
Yes. I love
You
it.
know,
I love it.
because that's what we talk about in that first chapter. We just start making it personal and making it intentional. And then and it's building that consistency and just going in and just doing what you have to do to be the best you in your personal as well as in the marketplace.
I love it. Thank you so much. We have the other author on as well. We're about to bring her on, but I thank you so much, Ms. Deborah. And again, those who are watching, that's Ms. Deborah Franklin. She has the book here at the bottom, The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Y'all have a great one. Love you. Love you to life.
Love
And
you too. Listen, now we have author Twyla Reed. Welcome.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Thank you.
Good. You doing okay?
I am. How are you doing today?
Doing great. It's been a great journey through this Amazon Live today to hear from other authors. I was sharing about reading from the book, from the synopsis of it, so I can share a little bit about the book. But I wanted to make sure you guys come on as an author, because like I said before, I can't do 100% justice of it because I didn't write the book. So uh, you're here, author Twyla Reed. This is your book is What Do You Do When Caregivers Need Caregiving? Now, that's an amazing question. So,
Yeah.
first, I want you to just introduce yourself. And then, like the others, I asked them to, talk about the book and what made you create that book. It was an amazing topic, amazing question.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and for this amazing opportunity. Hello, everyone. My name is Twyla Reed. I'm a multi-award winning best-selling author. I'm the founder and CEO of Broken Wings Incorporated, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We provide services to traumatic brain injury survivors and their caregivers, as well as their family members. Also, the founder and CEO of When Heaven Speaks,
Mhm.
book coaching and publishing, and the founder and executive producer of the Conquerors Cafe podcast. And what we basically do is just provide resources, tips, and strategies and tools to those who've survived a traumatic event and their caregivers, by just
Mhm.
basically teaching them how to live the life that they desire in spite of the challenges that are faced, in spite
Yes.
of the hardships that they face. We teach them that just because you've gone through a traumatic event, you don't have to live in minimality. You can have a full productive life in spite of
Yes.
the challenges that you face. And so,
So this book, it sounds more like it's encouraging to that caregiver. But what would you, if you was to just give this book one word to describe it, what would it be?
resource.
Mm,
A resource, because what it is, it's a resource for those who are actually walking in those shoes, who are operating in the role of a caregiver. It educates, it empowers, and it inspires those, because caregiver burnout is real. And
yes.
I've been a caregiver now for over 20 years. Many of you know my journey. My son has a traumatic brain injury from a car accident that we had in 2001. And I did not know anything about caregiving. And I just hit so many brick walls as a caregiver, didn't know anything about traumatic brain injury. You know, I had my son for 11 years, had a car accident, and then boom, was thrown into the role of a primary caregiver. And
Mm,
all of the obstacles that I faced, and all of the hardships that we faced as a family, the Lord showed me how to maneuver through those things and how to obtain the resources that we needed. And so, I thought, well, if I went through this, I know there are others that are going through the same thing,
yes.
that may not know how to get the resources, don't know how to obtain the things that they need. So the Lord gave me the vision to write, what do you do when
Yes.
caregivers need caregiving? Now, as that tool, as a resource to help them and talk to them and learn how to recognize the signs of caregiver burnout, and so they can prevent those things and be the best
Yes.
caregiver that they can be. Because if they're not the best caregiver that they can be, there's no way you can be really take care of the person or your loved one that you're caring
Yeah.
for.
You can't properly take care of anyone if you haven't properly taken care of yourself. And self-care, I'm sure is one of the components of self-care. Let
Yes.
me let me ask you this. What are some of the signs of a person who's experiencing burnout or on that road?
Wow. Sleeping too much, not getting enough sleep, just being so easily overwhelmed,
Mhm.
overstressed, overeating, not eating
Wow.
enough, headaches. It can even take on a physical manifestation if you're not careful with caregiver burnout, being forgetful of things that you need to do. There's a plethora of things that
Yes.
really fall into that category. And if you're not careful, you will fall into that category of caregiver burnout, and you'll be walking around not even realizing that you're doing your loved one an injustice.
And that's why they need your book.
Yes.
So this is what I asked the other authors too. It sounds like definitely this book is for those who are caregivers, but is there practical tools for those who, like you said, you were thrown into this position of caregiver. That wasn't something that you had planned. So for those who may feel like maybe their parent is going down a road that they didn't expect,
Mm.
and they may feel like, okay, I'm soon may be in the role of a caregiver. Does this book also provide that too for those who are easing in eventually, like down the road, more to like a step versus right right now? So I guess I'm asking like the timing of the book. Is it something that they need to get right away when they're doing it, or can they read it to prepare them for years down the road?
You definitely need to read it to prepare, because if you're
Hmm.
prepared, let me tell you something.
Hmm.
In life, you are a caregiver, you've been a caregiver, you're going to be a
Yes.
caregiver, or you're going to be someone that needs a caregiver. It's going to
Hmm.
happen. And
Yes.
so it's going to happen. And so being prepared is going to be the key to getting through and being able to maneuver through successfully. I talk about things to do to get prepared. What is a living will? It's
That's
different from
good.
a will. I talk about all of the legal forms that you will need. I talk about what the new normal really means and what the new
Power
normal
of
really
attorney.
looks like. Powers of attorney, absolutely. And so these things are needed, it's necessary. Guardianship, if it's a child, in my case, it was my child. But guess what? it also prepared me because I've had to take care of my father at one point as well. And so,
Mhm.
being that I had the experience of taking care of my son for all these years, it was easy for me to bring my father from Mississippi here to Savannah to be able to care for him for a month. It was,
Okay.
I knew what to do, I knew the steps to take.
Yes.
My brother and sister, they were worried about what to do. So, it was easy for me to be able to do that. And so this book, like I said, it's definitely a resource that you'll need to be able to take care of yourself while you're taking care of others.
I love that. Anybody have any questions for her? I see. Thank you for the follow, Miss Deborah. Appreciate it. I see that you just followed the Amazon Live. Um, so it's, to me, it's a tool, it's a resource, like you said.
Hmm.
It's definitely a tool. I hear it as a tool to help that person who will be that caregiver, and those who may need caregiving as well. What are some tips that you do provide for that person who may need caregiving?
To
Because
just
we're
trust.
talking about the caregivers, but what about that
Yes.
person who may, like, is there something that the person um, who's going to receive the caregiving, is it something that they can do to better lighten the load, or something that they need to be aware of as far as the caregiver is concerned?
Yes. The first and most important thing I would recommend is to trust your caregiver. Trust your
Mm,
caregiver and speak up. Let the caregiver know what you need. Let them know they can't read your mind. If something doesn't feel right, let the caregiver know. If it's something that you don't like, let the caregiver know. Having a relationship is very important in caregiving between
yes,
the caregiver and the person that's receiving the care. And trust is a must in
yes,
caregiving. And just trust that your caregiver knows what they're doing. You may not agree with all of the things that they do or all of the decisions that they make, especially being an adult that's needing a
yes.
caregiver. Because think about it, you may have been the breadwinner in your own family. And so it's
Mhm.
hard being able to now depend on someone to actually take care of you. So trust is a big thing.
Do you recommend, like, therapy in that process too? Like, is therapy involved?
Mhm.
Because I mean, sometimes when you have been so used to or accustomed to a pattern, you want to do things, it can become emotionally or depressed, I'm sure of,
Yes.
in that time too. So, how does your book help them in that process as well?
I I talk about that counseling, therapy, or
Oh, good.
however you want to name it. Yes, it's very important, and we as a people have to understand that it's okay to receive counseling. Your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, and your physical being, all of that needs to be intact in order to have a successful caregiving journey. You have to be able
Yes,
to know how to balance all of those things, not just the physical aspect of being able to physically move,
yes,
and be the taxi driver, or be the person who has to administer medication, or give baths in those types of areas. You have to have it all intact. So yes, the new normal, like I say, it really does become the new normal. And another thing
yes,
too, therapy is going to help you with your perspective, the way that you see this. You can walk around and say, "Oh God, it's me. Why me? Why me?" Because I was that person at one point. I didn't ask to do
yes,
this, but what I had to learn was that perspective is very important in the role as a caregiver. Instead of saying, "Why me?" I had to say, "Lord, why not me?" And thank you for finding me
yes,
worthy to be the blueprint to show others that, hey, just because you've survived a traumatic event or you've gone through a traumatic event, that life is not over. It's not the end, that you can have a productive life in spite of those things. So,
yes.
oh,
I love it. I could
thank
tell
you.
you're passionate about it.
Oh,
You're
very.
going in. You're going in. Yes, I could tell, and I'm glad that those who are watching this can hear from you as an
Mm,
author and your passion. Can you guys hear this passion? And the book that we're talking about, for those who are just coming on, is what do you do when the caregiver needs caregiving, and that is on the at the bottom of this Amazon Live, and we have the author here, author Twyla Reed, who's talking about this book. And I can hear your passion in this. Like, it
Well,
seems like
that's
all of the. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I meet caregivers all the time. And right now, during this time in our world, in our life with COVID, there are new caregivers that are emerging daily. And
Yes.
so, don't get discouraged. Don't feel like your life is over. It's a privilege to be able
Yes.
to give care to others. It is. Don't look at it as it's a burden. And that's why I believe the Lord gave me the vision to write this book, because, a lot of times, and as it should be, all of the attention is given to the survivor, the one that the care is being given to. But what do you do when caregivers need caregiving? What do
Yes.
you do? You have to understand that it's not an easy journey. Um,
Mm.
we do have a journal as well that goes with this for the caregiver, and it gives you a
Awesome.
space. It gives you a space to draw a picture. It gives you a space. There's a scripture for the day, and there's a write up, and it speaks to the caregiver's heart to say, what are you feeling on this day? What's going on with you on this day? How can you make it better? How can you look at what you're going on? Have you sat down and have you really assessed
Yes.
what's going on? Instead of just saying, oh God, this is another day. It's going to be, I don't ever wake up and look at it like that. I'm blessed to be able to wake up and see my son every day, because the
Yes.
doctors have ruled him out. They said he never walk again, never
But
talk
God.
again. But God, absolutely.
Yes.
So being able to get up and provide the care, and know that God has given me the strength to do it, and he's able, enable me to change my perspective on how I look at being a caregiver, and being able to share that and pour into others. That's an
Yes.
amazing feeling for me. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because life is not over.
Yes, I love it. And thank you so much for saying yes to this opportunity and for sharing this specific book. Let me ask you one thing. Why did you choose this book amongst all the books you have? Why was it this book?
Because, normally I talk about Broken Wings, my book
Yeah.
Broken Wings, which is the journey through my son's recovery. And once again, like I said, my whole writing journey, the whole vision behind Broken Wings and When Heaven Speaks has been based off of that. But what about
Okay.
the caregiver? What about
Yes.
the people that are out there caring? So I thought about this, and I was like, you know what? I think we're going to talk about the caregivers. And November is coming up. November is National Family Caregivers Month. And
Awesome.
like the
I
caregivers,
never even knew there was a National Caregivers Month. Wow.
yes, there is. And purple is the color for caregivers. So
Okay.
there's a lot that people really don't they don't really know, and they don't really take the time to really learn about caregiving. It's an honor to be a
Yes.
caregiver. I believe it's not for everybody. And I believe that God just put something special down on the inside of caregivers. And so
Awesome.
that's why I chose this book today.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And you guys who are watching, you hear it from the author herself, author Twyla, and thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Now we have this amazing. This is Cheryl Palat Williamson. Thank you so much for saying yes to this opportunity.
Thank you so much for having me. I am extremely excited to be here with you, Sister Bernice.
Yes, thank you. Listen, I want to talk about this influence book, The Art of Influence. Listen, first, I'm going to ask you, as I asked the other authors, to first just introduce yourself for those who are on. Thank you, Chris LaQuinta, for the follow. You'll see this book that I'm about to share with the author here is The Art of Influence. Right at the bottom of this Amazon Live, there's the book of The Art of Influence, inviting success into your everyday life. And so we have the author who's going to describe and introduce herself and to share about this amazing book. So I'll let everyone know who you are and why did you decide to, this is my question, the art of influence. Why did you decide to identify influence as art?
First of all, I am Cheryl Pelote Williamson. I am a certified life coach,
Mm-hmm.
global media executive. And many people ask me, why do you describe yourself as a global media executive?
Because you
I
are.
do that because I am an award-winning filmmaker. I am editor and chief of Cheryl Magazine. I have 18 published books. I have produced award-winning stage plays. And so therefore I own intentionally a global media executive,
Awesome.
which now ties into the art of influence. The reason that I wrote this book, Bernice, is because so many people ask me, how do you get to the table to be a part of these deals
Mm.
when other people are getting told no? And you know what it is? It's because I mastered the art of influence. What is that? That
Mm.
means that my dreams and my hopes collided in such a way that I had to make that thing happen. I'm intentional about every hug, every conversation,
Yes.
place I sit. I don't sit next to somebody and not introduce myself. I don't get on the plane and smile at somebody
Mm.
or just smiling. I smile because I know that it changes people's lives. And I have to tell you that we all have the art of influence. People think that you have to be a celebrity to have influence. All you have to do, Bernice,
Yes.
think about when you smile at the person at the grocery store and call them by their name. Thank you, Timothy, for bagging my groceries.
Yes.
Made a profound effect on Timothy because you called his name. Bernice, I remember when we were together at a conference, you made a profound effect on me because when you presented, I watched you talk to the people in the audience, touch the people in the audience. And there's something about the art of touch that ties into the art of influence.
Yes.
You have the ability to change people's lives by just being in the room. I'm a disruptor of the atmosphere, and I
Yes.
own that because I have mastered what influence can do to change people's lives.
I love it. So
So I had to
is
write
this
about it.
so is this book like the roadmap to or a guide to those who want to master the art of influence, or is it more of you're sharing your story of like your transparency of walking through the art of influence? Tell us a little bit about what can readers expect from this book.
It's my pleasure. It is absolutely a blueprint. And the
Okay.
reason that I wrote the blueprint is because of so many inboxes from people. So I break it down in the art
Mm.
of influence into 6 different. I start off with the inner work. The inner work is owning your truth, changing your mindset, locate your passion, the teachable spirit, be prepared, be mindful of
Mm.
distractions, know your worth. Then I go into what does the outer work look like, Bernice? That's teaching people how to serve. See, well, when you serve well, very rarely do you have to ask. People ask
Yes.
constantly, how did you get to the table? Because I served. So that person reached back and said, oh, I remember when you showed up when nobody else showed up. I remember
Yes.
when you did this or that. I talk about setting the intention and execute. See, many of us, we talk about what we're going to do, but we never do it. We have no intention and we don't execute. I talk about you not having to have all the answers, how to connect with people, how to set your price and be quiet.
Uh-oh.
Unbecoming.
Pause right there.
I
How to
love
set
that chapter. I love it. And I'll just talk about it just briefly. Setting your price and be quiet. This is what I do when I go to the table to negotiate a deal. I put the price on the table and I pass it across. Many of us, we
Yes.
get excluded from the deal because when we say it's $5,000 for us to speak for the day and the person on the other side gets quiet, we immediately start negotiating our price down because we're not comfortable with the fact that they're quiet and we think that they're coming up with a reason why they can't pay the $5,000. Where if we would be quiet, we would know that they're about to say, well, we'll pay $2,500 down and we'll pay you the other $2,500 3 days before the
Yes.
presentation. So I talk about how I
That's
used to
good.
negotiate myself out of deals, or I would give people a deal thinking that, oh, they're being quiet because $300 is too much. So I'll offer them this or that. And then we don't realize we insult people too when we go down on the price, because some people say, oh, you think I can't afford it? So set your
Yes.
and be quiet. And Bernice, I have to
I
just
love
tell
it.
you about this chapter about under promise and over deliver. And you know this.
Mm,
How many times have you went to do business with people and they promise you all this pie in the sky, they invoice you, and you don't, and nothing happens.
yes.
Nothing happens. And then they do the bare minimum, whatever that is. So I wrote a chapter about under promise and over deliver. And that means in conversation, just let people know where you
Yes.
stand, what's going on. And
Still a
right,
influence impact.
absolutely. And people carry that message. So with this book broken down in that way, and it's just an easy read because it's not just about business, it's about
Yes.
life. That's why the title says inviting success in every area of your life. I talk about
Yes.
how I walked on the plane. I smiled at a lady while I was going back to my coach seat, and this has
Hmm.
relevance. So I don't just say things. Everything I say has an intention. I write down every day I fly first class, but I bought a coach ticket. I'm going back to my seat. I smile at this lady going back. I get back to my seat, and my husband says, hey, you take my first class seat because I know you write down every day I fly first class. So I go up to first class. It turns out I'm in the same seat with the lady I just smiled at.
That you smiled.
That
Mm.
I smiled at. I sat down, we start talking. Bernice, within maybe 20 minutes into the flight attendant comes by. She stops the flight attendant and she says to her, do you know this lady? And I'm looking at her like, why is she saying this? And so the flight attendant said, no, I just know who she is from the register now. I'm assuming it's Mrs. Williamson since we had Mr. Williamson. So
Hmm.
she said, I believe that this lady, that God has sent her to change things in the world. And I'm looking at her like, we just only talked 20 minutes. Now I want to fast forward to you. I found out that this lady was one of the largest contributors to the African American Museum. She ended up helping me fund my play Soul Purpose.
All
Why
from
is
one
that
smile.
relevant? All from a smile, from an open, transparent conversation, all from showing her my heart that and we're still friends right now. When I went to speak at the NAACP conference in Washington, D.C., she made her way all the way into that area so that she could hear me speak. She is also every
Wow.
month, she sends a donation to my nonprofit. That is the art of influence. I use my smile, I use my affirmations to prick my husband's heart to say, you know what? My wife writes this down every single day. Let me
Making it
give
clear.
her, let me give, and that's what I talk about in the art of influence, how we all have the responsibility to make impact and influence our circle of influence.
Yes, Deborah says awesome. Missy says, wow. Amazon customer, yes. I don't see your name, but I see Amazon customer says, but God. Wow. Yes. Like, and this is the book, The Art of Influence. Hold it up again, please. Mrs. Cheryl. Yes, The Art of Influence. You see this at the bottom here. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, but God, like that's a but God moment. Wow. And I
Bernice,
I thank you for sharing it.
our time right now is the art of influence. It's because you've been in my life. I believe in what you do, and what you do influences me to be better, to want more, to know that there is more. So I don't take that for granted. You, my friend, have practiced the art of influence. You are using your influence to help us as authors get a broader platform. And that's what my book talks about.
Awesome. Helping someone else. I love that. I love that. Thank you. And you inspire me. I just see so many great things that God is doing in your life. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And I'm honored to have you on the platform with me today. We have several others who are excited too as well. who are on and just listening. And I want to say thank you for sharing the blueprint of it, because sometimes we can be in spaces that people have made it, we think have made it to a certain area, but they never reach back to share how they did it. And so I
Mhm.
just want to publicly say thank you for giving us the blueprint of the art of influence, because it does matter. And I want to say this from my experience as well. Sometimes you don't even the art of influence will pay more for the even a financial transaction. The art of influence can get you into doors that money can't get you into.
I tell you, it is true. Even right now, I sit at tables and everybody is like, "Oh, I'm Doctor So and So. I'm Doctor," and I said, "I'm Cheryl." And guess what? Though Cheryl has walked away with the deal. But it's
Yes.
because of the art of influence. It's because I have had influence on mentors and sponsors who have said, "Give her this contract. She needs to speak at this engagement." And it's because I know I have mastered the art of influence. I know what influence can do. I know what impact can do. And that's why my desire is to get this book in the hands of everybody who wants a simple blueprint. They don't have
Yes.
to go and look it up. All they have to do is read the book. I'm
Mhm.
open, I'm transparent about the mistakes that I've made, not getting contracts signed that should have been signed before I said yes to doing any
Yes.
type of business with people. It is a book where you can open it. And I just want to share one thing, Bernice. On the
Yes,
very
please.
last page, there's an Art of Influence Soul Pack that I want each and every reader to read, because it tells you that you are the best, you deserve the best, and I give the best because I am the best, so I expect the best. And this
Affirmation.
holds you accountable to yourself for being the
Yes.
best, for living a life of influence and impact unapologetically and doing it intentionally every day. Execute on your life of influence intentionally every single day.
I love it. Wow. Drop mic. That's a drop mic moment. Thank you again. Thank you once
Thank
again
you.
for sharing that. And you have a wonderful day, Mrs. Cheryl.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless everybody that's listening. Get the book, The Art
Yes.
of Influence. You must get this book. It's a must read.
Must read. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Listen, she said it. It's a must read. Listen, it's at the bottom. It's called The Art of Influence, Inviting Success into Every Area. I love the fact that she didn't point a one specific area. Like it's just for this business, or it's just for this child, or it's every area, which we definitely need that influence. And so today, you heard it from these amazing authors. Their book is right at the bottom. Listen, I want to challenge you guys to purchase each of these books if you can. Don't just look at this video listening to these authors. They have worked tremendously, they have worked very hard to create a tool, a blueprint, a guide to share their story with you guys. So I want you guys to make sure that you're investing into each of these authors. The Art of Influence, we heard from Cheryl, Mrs. Cheryl. We heard from Dr. Rucker, Digging Diamonds, Revealing a Purpose. We heard from Chantel Walker, Full of Tears. We heard from Betty Speaks, Dr. Betty Speaks. She talked about the Resurrection Imprint Act, and that's for leaders. We heard from Twyla, who talked about what do you do when the caregivers need caregiving, and we also we heard from um, the amazing Deborah Franklin. She's the author of The Prayer of Jabez in the Marketplace. So each of these books that you see at the bottom of this Amazon Live, you've heard from each of these authors today. And so there you go. You have it. I just wanted to let you guys know these books are amazing, and you heard it yourself, not just from me, but you heard it from these amazing authors. So everyone, have amazing, great, amazing day.